Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fun, cute little Post-it note cover. It's next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and of course I waited to the last minute. So I wanted to quickly come up with an idea of something fun that I could give the teachers. I have more than one student, so I needed to come up with an idea that I could make quick and easy. So for today's project, you will need a few things, and most of the items I purchased at Joann's, but you don't have to get them straight from there. I found these cute little rainbow Post-it notes. They were on the sale rack, so I got them for a really good deal. So I purchased these to go into my Post-it note holder. In addition, you will need a ruler to help mark everything that you're doing. I will use some quilting thread to help with my bow making. A pencil I use for scoring the paper that we'll be using. I use this hem remover. Some people hate it that I use this. Other people think it works fine. You can use this or an X-Acto knife or any other type of scissors. You'll also need a piece of cardstock. This originally was 12 inches by 12 inches, but you can see I've already cut it down some. You'll also need an 8-inch piece of 3/8 ribbon, which I'll use to help decorate the front of it, and you'll need this small little 2-inch piece of ribbon to center off your bow. I also found these little cute scrapbook embellishments that are all about teachers. We're going to use this one here that says World's Best Teacher. In addition to some other tools you'll need your lighter, a pair of scissors, and the ever famous glue gun, which I'm sure you all have as famous crafters. So the first thing that we're going to do this morning is we're going to take our paper, and now that we know that our Post-it notes are 3 inches wide, I am going to mark the paper. I start measuring and I mark a 3-inch mark. I move up the paper, I mark another 3-inch mark. Then once I've had 4 or 5 marks, I take the ruler, I center it on the paper, and I use my pencil to draw a line. This line then shows my exactly 3 inches from top to bottom. After I finish that, I use my scissors to begin to cut. Having these little writings on the paper is fine. You don't have to cut them off. We will either hide them or they actually get trimmed off at the end. So you can begin to start to cut your paper, and when you're finished, you will have a long skinny strip of 3-inch wide paper. As you can see, I've cut this already and it's ready to go. I tried to peel off the UPC code, but it didn't quite work. But it doesn't matter because that's going to be on the inside and covered up. The next step that we do is we grab our Post-it notepad. And I do this very simply. I just take it and I lay it on my paper. You lay it down. I try to get it centered and even as best I can. Oops, help if I let y'all see. As best I can. Then I pick it up and I turn it. And here's where I use my hem remover. And I just take it very much like a pencil. I'll move this over so you can see. Very much like a pencil. And I just score the paper. And once I score it, you can see that the hem maker makes a beautiful line, and I fold it. This helps make the fold neat and tidy. So now that that fold is there, I once again pick up my Post-it pad, and I'm actually making the top of the Post-it notepad holder. So now I line it up as straight as I can. Now I fold it up to use my cut mark from before as the actual pattern. I hold my Post-it note in place. It's a little tricky. And then I score the paper once again. This makes it very nice, makes it a very even fold, and then I fold it over. And I press it. Then I'll remove the Post-it note, and I will fold the paper again. Now some people use a bone knife. I just use the edge of my scissors to help the fold. This makes the fold very neat and very precise. And fold the other one. So now I have 2 folds. So your paper actually should look like this. You can actually see where the width of the top of the Post-it notepad holder will fit right inside the holder. Now I put it back together and I decide, do I want to go a little extra on the front? This will be my front. So I need to decide, do I want a little extra or do I want it even? I think for this one I'm going to do exactly even so I'm not taking up too much room on my son's teacher's desk. So again, I score it. This time I score it a second time so that the score is super deep. And I bend it over. Because I scored it twice, it almost makes this as a perforation. And so I can just pull it off and cut the paper. And I actually don't need to use scissors on this part. Now you can very easily see how my Post-it note holder is going to be. So my next step is I take my Post-it notepad. Now I'll warn you, you're gonna probably waste this first sheet. So don't get upset, you'll get glue on it, different things. It's fine, don't worry about it. So what I do after choosing which side I think looks the best, which for me today I think it's this one, I actually open up my pad and I grab my glue gun and I just try to put some glue all around. Now you have to be quick with this part because you really do want to get the Post-it notepad down and in place before your glue actually dries. I'm working here, looking at the score marks again, because that's my fold. Make sure it's lined up, and then I press down. And right now, still, it's all very nice, still neat and tidy. Now, so that the package looks extra neat, I will fold this over, and since I have it already scored, I will now come and put glue, my paper sticking to my glue, right at the edge. I aim for the edge just because the glue is going to smear a little bit, and this way it helps keep it neat. For this fold, I let the Post-it note do the work. I press it down and I press it. Now as you can see, there may be a little bit of glue up here, which is going to appear on the first sheet for the Post-it note pad. Not a problem, we're gonna pull that off. And then the first sheet will actually be perfect. And I really don't think my son's teacher is going to count that there's only 49 Post-it notes instead of 50. So now our Post-it note, you can see the little holder is easily taking shape. It actually looks pretty just like this. But now we're going to take some time to embellish it to make it look a little prettier, just so it has a little special look on side the desk. So for the first step for this, we're going to pick up our little creations. These are little stickers. I actually found them in the craft store in the paper section, mostly with scrapbooking. But because the Post-it note is so small, it actually is a perfect size. So for this one, I think I'm just going to center it right here in the middle. And I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not really going to worry whether or not I have exactly an inch on both sides. And that right there looks pretty itself, but you know, because we're lovable bows and we love bows, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a quick bow to go on this. If you need to learn how to make a bow, I can show you quickly, but I recommend that you check out Mommy Crafts a Lot on YouTube. She taught me just from video on how to make bows, and she does a great job. She has so many different bow styles and different ones. You can choose what you like. Because this is such a small area, I'm going to make a small bow for this. So first, I take my 8-inch ribbon, and of course I want to heat seal the end. So I take my lighter and I heat seal both ends. I use thread to help keep my bows in place and to keep them tight. So I know I use way too much, but this quilting thread, which I don't know if you can see, it's very white, kinda, here let me lay it on this, maybe you can see it a little bit better. I just use about an 8-inch, 10-inch piece. I know I waste a lot, but it works for me. So then for me, I just loop over the bow, one piece of ribbon over the other, kind of looks like the Cure ribbon or the AIDS ribbon or the Breast Cancer Awareness ribbon. Then I take the long piece that's remaining and I flip it over to the other side. And now you can pretty much see my bow is in place. Then I take my thread and I take it and I wrap it around And I'll admit, sometimes I use my teeth to help hold this in place. Today I'm going to use my daughter. She's going to hold her finger right here, hold the very bottom. And I'm going to use it to wrap around the center of the bow. And I'm such a good mom. I just let my daughter get burned by my glue gun. So, she might start crying. So don't worry, she's fine. We'll get her a piece of ice. So I wrap this around. Hold it tight, Callie. Hold it tight. And you wrap it around a couple of times. So, all right. So now we have our bow. This one, it's a little hard while I'm on the camera to make it. So I'll actually improve it a little better. After I finish this portion, I will actually trim the center of the bow with the smaller ribbon and wrap it around. This will finish up, and this will be the center of my bow. Once I'm finished making this bow, it's a very simple step. I'll just take my glue gun and I will put a dab of glue right here in the middle, and then I place the bow on top of it in the spot. I hold it down in place, and then boom, we are ready to go. And this is a simple, fun little gift. This gift probably cost me less than, probably less than $1.50 by the time I bought the Post-it and the paper and everything. And I was able, since my cardstock was 12 inches by 12 inches, I'll actually be able to get 3 of these out of one sheet. So thank you for stopping by, and I also hope that you visit us on Lovable Bows. We make a lot of fun little things with bows. We started making hair bows, but as my daughter got older, we moved into other ventures of bows. So if you like bows, stop by. We're on Facebook at Lovable Bows. Thank you.